Welcome to Tea at Taxevity, where you meet people who make life better, our clients and friends. My name is Pramod Sharma, and today our guest is Joe Barbieri, the president of Joe the Investor. I met Joe several years ago and we've stayed in touch. We'll be covering the topic of finding value in unexpected places. Let's welcome Joe.
How are you?
I'm great, Joe. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, what sort of places can we find value in?
Well, to keep it simple, I would say simplifying your finances. And so people tend to have money in this account, this account, this account, and this account. And these accounts are always separate. And I see this a lot with clients. My RSPs are in this thing, my non-register is in this thing, my lira is in this thing. And they don't ever think about what's the link between them.
Why do you think people have those many accounts? Because it does seem to be harder to keep track of things that way.
Some of it is just what people are told. Because all the advertising in RSP season says, put money in an RSP. They don't say, if you have these situations, then put it in, which means looking at everything, then put it in. They just say, max your RSP under every circumstance. So people do it. Then when that's over, the tax season comes. Oh, now I have to find ways to save money on taxes. So that bucket comes into focus. Then when the summertime comes, it's spending season. Let's go on our motorboat and forget all of this. And then September comes and it's school season. And then it's, we need money for university, so everything's focused on that. And then it's Christmas season, and then it's investment season, and then it's RSP season. So it's this rotation, but nobody comes and says, what's the whole story? And where can I find the value in between all of those things?
That's a great point, because people are busy trying to tell us to do these things, as you're saying. So the RSP deadline is tonight. Well, I don't have time to go to my normal bank. Let me just invest on this place on the way home. And then all of a sudden I've got an RSP in not just one place or two, but maybe 5. And then we have these other accounts. We've got single accounts and joint accounts. And that's a good point. We do add a lot more.
And speaking of joint accounts and single accounts, another area of simplifying is that. And joint accounts are good for estate planning, for example, or sharing money between spouses. It makes it easier. But you have to know why you're doing it.
Okay, when you talk about simplifying accounts, to me that sounds like consolidating. You just put all these accounts, all the RSP accounts into one institution. Is that what you mean?
Well, not necessarily, because sometimes that's not to your benefit. So let's say I have 5 accounts in each of the major banks. So one in Scotia, TD, RBC. Each one of the banks will come and say, do you have money in another bank? Yes. Well, bring it here.
Right.
Because, and what they're really saying is, we want the business. However, are you getting value from it? In some cases, yes, because larger balances give you better rates, lower fees, better service. If you come in there with $1 million, they'll say, Pramod, you're rich. Come and sit here with our high net worth advisor, and we'll spend a couple of hours with you. But if you only have 100,000, they'll go, just go to the CSR, and they'll pick a few funds and go. And so your options get limited. So there are benefits to it, but you have to make sure you know what they are. Sometimes you put everything in one place and they get complacent. And they say, he's not going to leave. He's got all his money here. So let's charge him double what he paid last year and hope he doesn't see it.
Right.
Or hope he doesn't care because he trusts us with. And sometimes having 3 or 4 different institutions keeps them honest. You've seen the Bell Rogers scenario.
Yes.
Where you have your business at Bell and they double your rate and you say, well, I'll just go to Rogers. Oh, no, let's give you a deal. and likewise for the others. And so a lot of people have things in 3 companies just to negotiate. And so you're getting better value even though there's more accounts.
So would you consider that to be simplification too then? Because
Well,
now you're dealing with, say, Bell and Rogers, so that you can play them against one another, or with 2 or 3 different banks. Because that seems to be adding complexity.
yeah, it's the simplifying versus the value. In a lot of cases, if it's simple, you can see everything clearly and you know where the value is lost. And then you could say, oh, I forgot about this account with $20,000 in it. Let's put it to work. And the only way I'm going to see it is if I have it with my other account that I look at every day. So that's the simplifying part. But you also have to look at if it's worth it or not.
Right. So now you have all your money with one bank, but maybe you're paying them way too much money.
And thinking that it's a good thing because it's consolidated, or because it's one-stop shopping, it's the best. But you have to ask, is it the best or not?
But like, people are busy. How do they figure out whether it's the best choice or not?
Well, the time is another sort of element. And time is something you have to get to know because, so for example, someone who's busy, well, what are they busy with? Either they work a lot, family obligations, people they're taking care of, or sometimes they're busy because they want to be. And once you figure that out, then you say, okay, how can I get my time back? And I find in a lot of cases, money and time are always linked. I work a lot to pay these bills. All right, how can I get rid of the bills? How can I consolidate them or simplify them or make them easier for me to understand so I can just look at it and say, yeah, $100 for Bell, yeah, got it. I know why I'm paying it, done. But if it's $100 for Bell and you don't know why you're paying it, maybe you could pay $30 for Bell and that saves you $70, which frees up some of the other work you have to do. Because in saving the money, you can save the time. And that reduces the busyness. So it's almost self-fulfilling.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Time and money are linked. If you don't have enough of one, you probably don't have enough of the other. So look at them as one and say, I don't have time to look at this, but is everything working? Maybe I should spend a day and look at some of this. And when I get my savings, I'll get it back. I'll free up time some other place.
Okay, so if we're looking at unexpected places, we've talked about maybe on your phone or cable bills, dealing with bank fees. Are there other unexpected places that people find money?
Well, a big one is taxes.
Okay.
And now taxes, when people hear the word taxes, they go, oh no, it's complicated. I need an accountant. I don't want to deal with it. Well, okay, you still need an accountant, but, and you don't necessarily, you can do it yourself too, but even if you have an accountant, it doesn't matter. It's just a few, so for example, if you buy anything outside of Canada, like American stock, and you have dividends, there's always taxes on those. In a retirement account, they're not taxed. In a non-retirement account, they are taxed.
By retirement account, you mean like an RSP?
RSP and RIF and a locked-in account. So all you have to do is shift from this type of account to this type.
Okay.
And you've saved dividend tax.
Right, so you're doing the same investing, except you're doing it in a
Everything
more
else
tax-effective way.
is exactly the same. It's just switching from one account to the next. So the non-registered will have your Canadian, and your registered will have your outside of Canada foreign. Well, US is where the saving is. Foreign is a different set of rules. But anything that has any American component, you'll save on that. And that's just one question to ask. And even if you don't do it yourself, you can say, I heard about this. How do I take advantage of it? And by making that swap, I might have saved hundreds, thousands of dollars, depending on what you're investing. The same goes with contribution room or TFSA room. It's just, oh, I have 30,000 in room, what do I do with it? Well, put something in it and treat it as a tax saving. We'll save it as a tax shelter account. And if you don't know it, you can just ask whoever's doing the taxes, how do I benefit from that? And once you've done it once, the benefit goes on for life.
Right, so you can simplify by knowing the right questions to ask, and you don't necessarily need to do all these things yourself.
That's right. And the time you spend even researching for a few hours, how does this TFSA work, will net you thousands of dollars over your life. So it's a good payoff. And that thousands of dollars will save you having to work for it.
Right.
Which is 3 or 4 months of work, say.
And thousands of dollars after tax requires more thousands of dollars prior to tax.
So these are the kind of ideas that give you a payout, and they're not time consuming. It's more like making adjustments to your financial story, and they're one-time adjustments.
Okay, I feel lighter already. Another question, is there a risk of oversimplifying?
There probably is. And the consolidating in one bank is one example. Or the consolidating, consolidating in any measure can have that. And sometimes if you simplify too much, you miss out on. So the ultimate simple investment strategy is put it all in cash.
Right, and we know that has drawbacks.
And you might miss out on these returns for a long, long time, which would amount to a huge loss of potential. So in that case, you do want to get a little more complicated in that you might want to get dividend stock instead of cash, or bonds or something like that, or a mixture. But there's sometimes it doesn't work. Or and same with taxes, it's another element. I can do everything as interest. I know exactly how it works, but I'm paying a lot more than a capital gain, for example, or a dividend. And so in that case, you do want to find out, is it worth it? And is it worth getting more complicated?
Right, great points. I'm reminded of a quote by Albert Einstein. If I remember it correctly, he talks about make things as simple as possible, but no simpler. And it sounds like you're saying the same thing.
That's what it is, yeah.
How can people get in contact with you?
So I have a website. It's joetheinvestor.ca, and I have an email as well. Well, the website has a contact page, so that you'll find all the social media links, the email links. There's a phone number there. I'll give you the email separately just to have it. It's joetheinvestor.today@gmail.com.
Okay, and we'll show this on the screen for the benefit of the viewers.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us for Tea at Taxevity. The Taxevity Insurance Advisory helps you understand insurance and bridges gaps in your coverage. There's no premium for peace of mind. How healthy is your insurance?